All right, and we are live. Oh,
Hello.
starting us off with a little puff puff.
Yes, because I'm an addict, I have no control over my compulsion, and I've stopped trying. Um, I think I was.
I still think it's cheaper than cigarettes.
Oh, it definitely is cheaper than cigarettes. It's definitely, it's still not healthy for me, but it's certainly a damn sight healthier than cigarettes.
No,
But,
that is fair.
but I'll tell you, yeah, I remember when I was smoking cigarettes. I remember when I decided to try and quit cigarettes. I had never smoked more in a single day than when I was trying. Like, I literally quit smoking 20 straight times. I went through an entire pack of cigarettes in one day, which I had never done before because I kept going, one last one. This is my last one. I swear, like, the pressure of trying to quit made it worse. So
That is not the way you do that. Oh my
no.
god, you just crush them and toss them away. Uh,
Yeah, I didn't have the heart to do that because even then, cigarettes were like $8 a pack at that point, and I was like, I'm not just gonna throw away $8. I mean, come on.
I can see that. I can see that. No, it's just the power in the decision of, all right, whatever. Just it's it's kind of like when you're in a relationship with an abusive person,
Hmm.
and if you get dumped by said abusive person, it takes a long time to recover. But if you are the one who does the dumping,
Oh yeah, yeah,
there's an immediate power move that really helps you. I think the mentality kind of goes somewhere along those same lines.
right. Yeah, there's something to that. Yes. I'll tell you. You know what really did it though? The major shift from cigarettes to the vape. I'll tell you, it was crazy. I was dating this girl who did not mind at all that I smoked. She didn't smoke herself, but she would like even engage in like a
That
single
is
puff. Yeah, a non-smoker
strange.
Dave willfully dating a smoker almost never happens, but she did, and she even would have like a puff of my cigarette like once every week or something like that. It was crazy the self-control this lady had. But it
That doesn't
wasn't
sound all
until
the way like a non-smoker.
she never had her own cigarettes, and we would spend whole days together, and she wouldn't have a single puff until like the next morning or something like that. Like it was real. It was a real thing. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Some people just don't have it. They talk about the addictive personality. I think we need to talk more about the people who have the non-addictive personality and find out what makes them tick. Um, but
I just hate them.
I know, right? But yeah, it wasn't until we've been dating for like maybe 4 or 5 months, and I told her for the first time the story of when I actually tried to quit smoking. She didn't care about me being a smoker up until I told her about how I had tried and failed to quit smoking once. And then after that, every time I lit up a cigarette, she got this look of disappointment in her face. And that's what killed me. That's what got it. Like
I
that
could
was when
see
I was
that.
finally like, I gotta really do it. I gotta really try. And so I got the vape to try to be the kind of like midway point, like, oh, I'll get the vape and then I'll even like pare down the amount of nicotine in it bit by bit to wean myself off. By the time I was into that though, we broke up and now I'm just a vapor. Now I'm just stuck on that.
I am getting a little bit concerned about the vape thing. There's a lot of research that's coming out that some of the fluid is sitting in the bottom of your lungs and pools down there.
I've heard
And
about that.
like, but
I'm
it's
still
also the same thing that you get from cigarettes too. So I mean, the
yeah.
risk was already there. I am not sure which one is still riskier, but like breathing like you're sucking through a straw sounds horrible. Like, I mean, because okay, I know I'm a few years younger than you, but when I was in
Mhm.
school, we had the cowboy who used to dip, and like the video was like he had no bottom jaw.
Right, yeah.
And so like I know when I like as a kid in the 90s, everybody saw that video. And yeah, for a lot of people, yeah, chewing was not the thing for our generation, but
No.
smoking definitely hung around.
Oh
I
yeah.
I don't like the vaping with all the flavors. I think
No,
that
I'm not really into
entices
that
it. You
either.
know what I mean?
Yeah, and some of the flavors I really don't understand, like the freaking fruity pebbles stuff that a lot that seem to be really popular. I get mad because like I finally like find a flavor that's subtle enough that I like, and then it gets discontinued within 6 months because I'm apparently the only person on the planet who's buying it. So,
No, I can see that. Well, that's the thing. Like when they were saying like kids were starting to vape and everything like that. It's like, yeah, if it tastes like fruity pebbles, are you kidding me? When I was a kid and I
mhm,
did my first smoking, I had to struggle through how nasty it was because I was trying to be cool.
yep,
This like no struggle, just instantly like, oh, I'm cool, and it tastes like fruity pebbles.
right.
Like that's a little bit too dangerous. That's I don't know. No,
What I
that's
think is weird
you
are
know
the
what?
people
No,
who
no, no.
do it.
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna interrupt. I've had something that I've been wanting to talk because ever since I saw this little thing on social media, everything,
Hmm.
Indiana Jones was a fever dream of Han Solo's while he was frozen in carbonite. Discuss. I think that I that is the crossover that we never got. I think that is brilliant.
I mean,
I mean, because it was Lucasfilm Ltd. And
right.
Spielberg, so a lot of the Star Wars stuff crossed over into the Indiana Jones universe as Easter eggs to the other production. Which, if you're having a dream, stuff like that might happen. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
the
That's an
argument
interesting
of
take.
the
Yeah.
argument over Han Solo versus Indiana Jones, I'm calling the ultimate win. It's the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, it would explain why all of the women in Indiana Jones are just as like disrespectful of him as Princess Leia was. Like every single one of them is all like, "Indy, you son of a bitch,"
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%. I mean, I haven't seen the last Indiana Jones, like, which I know is wrong. I saw apparently the worst one, but I didn't go see the second to worst one, which in my eyes, in the original trilogy, I never go back and watch Temple of Doom. I only watch 1 and 3.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, and I would agree with that. Yes, there are interesting things about two that are. I think the issue with two is that the major influence of Indiana Jones has to do with the old, film reel serials of like the 40s when going to the movie theater was literally just like you pay to get in, you sit there and then you see like 100 short films all in a row. There,
Mm,
feature films were not as much of a thing. You would sometimes, in the same way we would sit and watch TV now, people would just sit in the theater. They'd watch a newsreel, they'd watch a cartoon, and then there'd be like some adventure serial,
that
fighting
sounds
the nuts.
pretty
Yeah,
cool. However,
right. Yeah,
I'm that guy in the theater that if people are talking too much, I'm the shut up guy.
right. Yes. And
Oh,
there were,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there was that going on. But yeah, so that was the original influence of Indiana Jones was a throwback to those adventure serials from the
Oh,
old
like
black and white days.
the radio shows and everything like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think the major issue with Temple of Doom was that it is way too accurate for that genre. It had all the same crappy stuff in those that the old ones did as well. It was a little too much of an homage, in my opinion. Whereas Raiders and Last Crusade, they took the genre, they took the idea, but they made it better.
They
They
elevated
aged
it a
it up
little
yeah,
bit.
they aged it up a bit. Yes.
However, I
And
still
so
hate Big Bang Theory for pointing out how irrelevant Indiana Jones is to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
right, yes. Yeah, because yeah, they opened
Never
it
would have
and
thought of
everyone
that until
died.
Big Bang, and then I'm like, wait, no, no,
Oh,
no, no, Indy. I was the if it was Indiana Jones or James Bond, I was the Indy guy. Don't say
right.
Indy's irrelevant. This is killing me.
See, that's funny because like that was like I think that was lifted off the internet because I remember having that conversation with other people long before the TV show was even on the air.
Oh, I'm sure
Like
that's. I
so,
mean, yeah, Chuck Lorre probably just either he had that fight or had that argument or somebody had that pointed out to him,
yeah.
and he
Or
was
yeah.
every nerd in that show where just the feeling of just pure hurt washing over every character and every audience member like me during that episode because I was like, Well, wait, but no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, what about? Oh yeah. Like that was just
Hmm.
that was a heartbreaking day, and I was very very saddened by it.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, here's the same thing. Here was my take that made everybody angry about the Goonies.
mm,
Other than Martha Plimpton's character, every single character in the Goonies fails upward. Like
yeah,
they all just get lucky. Everything they do is the absolute wrong thing to do. They just luck in and out of the situation anyway.
yeah. The power of the writer.
Right.
Like, how did you get out of this? God.
Hmm.
Like literally Deus Ex Machina, like every single time. But yeah, but that's the point of the Goonies is that was pure like pure kid adventure.
Yeah, it really was.
And but I mean the unfortunate thing is a lot of the other kid adventure movies of that time just really don't seem to stand the test of time as much as Goonies did. And
Hmm.
does Goonies actually stand the test of time? Because I know the Truffle Shuffle is probably like extreme bullying at this point.
Yeah, and I don't know. I remember watching it again a couple years back and thinking to myself that it hadn't aged well, but not because it was like overly offensive. I had gone from being like a kid watching this and going, I want to go on an adventure too, just like them. Now, I watched it when I was like 40 and I was like, I would beat the shit out of every one of these children. Like if any one of these
Yeah,
kids opened their mouth to me, I just like slap them and be like, your parents didn't hit you enough. Like that would be my
quite
approach.
literally mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Um,
So yeah,
but I
it's
mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Data and Chunk. Pretty
well,
sure I still love them. Here, okay, but
yeah.
here, real quick. Here's the thing that I remember about the last time that I saw the Goonies.
Okay.
The movie was way longer than I remembered, and it had way more slow parts than I remembered. And I was sitting there watching that. I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored. It's the Goonies.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that's one of those moments where you wonder if maybe that whole like everyone's attention span is getting shorter might actually have some validity because like I don't like giving that argument validity, but when you see like an 80s movie that you saw that were riveted as a kid and now you're bored as an adult going like when's the action going to happen again? Like
well,
now you're sitting there
where?
going like wait.
Well, now hold on. Because we've seen these movies. When it comes to older movies that have the slower pace, the one that I'm really going to bring up, Death Trap.
Oh yeah. Okay, yes. Which we covered on this show not too long ago and that yeah.
That
No, that's true.
had me. That was a 70s movie. And man, yeah, it had some slow moments and everything like that, but it had me for every frame. Same
No,
as
it's true.
Mother Night. Mother
Oh
Night
yeah.
had me all the way through.
Yeah. No, that's
So,
true.
if it's a movie that you haven't seen for the like if you're seeing a movie for the first time, I still think you have a higher chance of it like sticking with you. But yeah, if you're going back and watching something and you have the nostalgia factor, it's like, oh God, I remember this being amazing and I loved this movie and I can't wait for
Right.
this part and this part and this part. And then one, you're looking at it through the eyes of an adult where you are heavily jaded.
Right. The shine of the world ain't there no more. So, yeah,
Yeah.
the fact that the Torellis haven't killed any of these children is the only thing on your mind. You're like, how these are supposed to be some villainous, evil guys, and they're letting everyone live. I'm not buying it. Like,
No, this is that play in my eyes. The Goonies is basically that play where the kidnappers steal that kid and then they have to pay to bring him back to the parents.
right.
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
It sounds very familiar, but I can't think of what it's called.
I can't think of what it's called either, which is weird because I've seen it like 5 times. Like I swear to God, every single like high school actor in my family, they have all done the exact same play. Weird that I didn't do that one when I was younger though. Maybe I'd
It
actually
might be a little bit
remember
more
it.
contemporary. Yeah, I remember doing
Maybe.
a play at the school that I went to, and I wasn't in the play. It was one of the ones I was not cast in, and a bunch of my friends were doing it. And I remember like all of a sudden there was this big buzz going on because the original author of the play that they were performing happened to be in town and was coming to see their performance. And my first thought was, wait, he's alive? We're performing a play written by someone who's still alive? Since when? Like,
I could see myself having
yeah.
the exact same thought.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely could. I have this weird thing that there are no alive good writers. All of them are dead.
Right.
Like I think it's like no. In order to be a good writer, you have to die. Then your work is discovered. Like that. I don't know. It's just the Edgar Allan Poe thing that is just running through my
Right.
brain.
Edgar Allan Poe and what's her name? Emily Dickinson.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Like nobody knew she even was writing until after she died. Like,
Yeah. There's just something about that. I had a messed up English teacher that must have said something weird one day, but or maybe we all had that English teacher who did that because I feel like that's a pretty common actual idiocy because
right. Yeah.
that is
We're all
pretty dumb.
shocked to find out contemporary. Oh, who? Harper Lee. When the
To Kill a
author of
Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird, yeah,
Yeah.
published a new book like 4 years ago, and that was like she's still alive. Like
Harper Lee cannot be alive.
Harper Lee's alive. Harper Lee published her
Harper Lee
second novel ever.
cannot be. There's no way. I need to check this right now. Okay, all right. She died in 2016.
What? No, that can't be right. I swear her second book just came out. Unless I'm thinking of 2016 and oh god.
Time does pass.
A decade went by while I was on the crapper. Oh god.
I mean, let's be real. That was the year that the Trump administration began, and for a lot of people, time
has gotten weird since then. Yes, that's true.
Time has gotten wonky. Every single late night show talks about it. It's like it is the 400th year of the Trump administration, and we're only in month 5. Like,
yeah, no, that's true.
Something, and honestly, I think it's just and trying not to go too political or anything like that. But just the sheer exhaustion over the conversations. No day was a relaxing day for years.
That is true. Yes.
Like, it just wore me down. But, all right. I'm going to get right into it moving forward. Thank you for finally indulging me on that Indiana Jones Han Solo random thing. Because the internet told me that, and I was like... Animated? Maybe give us a crossover, some sort of Oh, by the way, did you hear that Marvel and DC came up with like a 5-movie crossover deal?
I did not hear about that. That's interesting. Okay. All right.
It could be interesting, but which freaking DC?
I mean, probably going to be the Gun DC since he's already gotten like all of the cred for it. He's probably been signed on for life. They're like, look,
he is the head of DC Studios, yeah.
Yeah, so they're probably gonna, him and Kevin Feige are probably gonna bang their heads together. I said this before already. I'm still waiting for the live action Fred Hembeck Destroys the Marvel Universe. That's gonna be a fun one.
Eventually, we'll see it all. I guarantee it. Eventually, we'll see it all.
Kids, if you haven't seen that one, do yourself a favor and go look it up. It's a treat.
Oh, that is funny. We went down to 1 viewer as soon as we started talking about Marvel and DC.
Wow. See, I warned you.
It is. Hey, you know what? News is still news. But now that we still have our 1 remaining viewer, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I can talk about some nerd stuff. Did you notice in the trailer? I think we're actually starting with a crossover movie with Zack Snyder's Superman universe.
Wait, the trailer for
Superman.
The new Superman?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I haven't seen most of Zack Snyder's DC universe.
It's not that many movies.
That's true.
I know you've seen Batman v Superman. I know you saw Man of Steel.
So Man
But
of Steel, Batman v Superman, and that was it. Batman v Superman, like he was already on
you
my
saw
shit list
Wonder
with Man of
Woman.
Steel. I saw Wonder Woman. That doesn't count. Zack Snyder didn't give a shit about Wonder Woman, so he like didn't even go
That's
near it. So
but that it's still that was the Snyderverse. It still
okay, I guess
was.
technically yes.
No, but like somebody like I saw somebody pointed out that it looks like Ultraman is in the trailer.
Hmm.
Or like Owlman, like the alternate version of Batman.
Oh, from the Watchmen.
No, okay, so maybe not Owlman. It's the Batman from the alternate, the crossover, whatever. I haven't seen those cartoons since I was a little kid, man. So,
Okay, right, yeah.
but here's what I think is this is what I'm thinking is kind of cool if it actually does go that way,
Mm-hmm.
because I think Henry Cavill was robbed in the role of Superman.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
And
Yeah.
I'd like to see him be able to come back and play evil Superman for this new David Cornsweet Superman.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
I think that would be a good send off for the actor who loved the character so extremely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right way to kind of pay that off. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, no, that was my tangent, like my side tangent. But I wanted to bust right into it. And 3, 2, welcome to Heist. I'm Bradley Hackworth, joined by Jonathan Ems, otherwise known as Doc.
Greetings, fellow humans.
And this week we wound up covering Hidalgo and the Irish flick The Commitments, the Irish blues flick, The
Mm.
Commitments. And
Almost qualifies as
ooh,
a jukebox musical, except it wasn't entirely a musical. They weren't performing the songs. They were a band that put on these songs in a bar, and so it basically had the same effect as it without any of the cheesy stuff that people seem to hate about musicals for some reason. I can only assume because they're dead inside.
there is that. There is that. I don't like all musicals. In fact, I don't like most musicals, but I do like some musicals. But the
Mm.
first movie that we are covering tonight is Hidalgo. And just doing a little bit of a recap and stuff like that because, oh my god, I'm tired.
Mm.
Hidalgo, starring Viggo Mortensen, Omar Sharif, and arguably Luis Lombard.
Mm.
I mean, who I
He was who was he in?
oh no, that was Lady Davenport.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Like
yeah.
she had a big role, but like a really big side role. You know what I'm saying?
She was, I mean, she seemed like an antagonist at first, but then like, spoiler, it kind of turns out she's the actual villain of the story and it's actually kind of a surprise,
100%. Hey, what up, peanut butter? I like the names of our subscribers.
Mm.
Like it's fun. Peanut butter the 16th. That's just I don't know why stuff like that makes me happy.
No, I'm right there with you. I can't explain it either, but yep, that tickles me as well.
No, that's a good one. Hidalgo. In 1890, a down and out cowboy and his horse travel to Arabia to compete in a deadly cross desert horse race. Directed by Joe Johnston, written by Joe Fusco, starring Viggo Mortensen, Omar Sharif, and Zuleika Robinson. She played the princess, which I guess, I don't know, by the end of this movie, they just didn't have the same customs and you were allowed to see her face and all this. Like,
It was weird. Yeah, they kind of threw a lot of things that were firmly established when she was introduced were thrown right out the window by the end. Yeah.
I mean, this is a movie where, yeah, you got some white savior complex stuff kind of going on, but
Mm.
at the same time, not fully because he
Yeah.
fails around almost every corner, and it's like, oh, he
Right.
didn't save anything.
No, he really didn't. But the interesting thing is that yeah, they even took like there was that through line of the fact that he's half Native American, and he's basically fucked until he decides to get in touch with his native side, and that's what gets him back on his feet. Possibly saves the life of his horse too. We're not sure how that went down. It looked like he was getting ready to shoot the horse out of mercy, and then the horse was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, bro, I'm okay."
Hey man, no. We don't need to call in the stunt horse. I'm good. I got this.
Right, yeah.
No, I mean, they had 5 different painted horses that played the role of Hidalgo in this film. And Viggo Mortensen did buy one of the horses at the end of production, which is the same thing he bought his horse that he rode in Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
He's just that kind of guy.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I guess if you have the ability to house horses on your property, then it's like, it's like what they call the
Don't
cat
let my wife hear
distribution
you think
system.
that. No. Don't even. I'm not. Nah, don't finish that sentence. Nuh-uh. I know there's a decent chance that she is watching just to make sure that there's anything that I might be able to get in trouble for.
Look, I've dated horse girls before. It's not that bad.
Oh, I've dated horse girls too. But I don't want to be married to one.
Hmm.
And I don't want the horse to be on my land.
Okay.
Man, I got a hard enough time picking up the dog poop, man. You think I want to be out there picking up horse poop? I've raised cattle. I'm good. I'm set. I've done this. Life experience checked off. And yes, you got me in trouble. My wife just commented 1 horse per acre. This is my life.
I accept no responsibility for this whatsoever. You're the one who brought a horse movie to the show. This is all on you.
Whoa. I brought a good horse movie. And one that I think is one of the lesser knowns.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard, to my knowledge, I haven't heard a lot of talk about it.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like, I think people did hear about this one, but I don't think people went and checked it out. A lot.
It's interesting.
Like, what was the reason? Because you actually had a reason that you didn't see this one. What was it?
Well, when it came out, I remember it kind of got panned. A lot of people called it boring. A lot of folks just said, like, I remember I was kind of half and half on it. This was back in the days when just going to the movie theater to watch whatever was playing was not that dumb of an idea, because movie tickets were only like $5-6. And
I know one of the reviews on this one on IMDb was, "I just wasted $4." I'm like, if it was $4, you shut your mouth.
Right. Yeah. The good old days. But yeah, I just never made it on my list to check out because no one that I knew had anything good to say about it. The trailers, I remember, also kind of like really upped the whole lost in the desert vibe of the whole thing, because I thought the movie was about a guy who went on a race and then got lost, and that the whole movie was about him trying to find his way home. And
Yeah.
my own
Didn't your
father,
dad? Yeah,
my father, like, he was asking me, he was like, "You planning on seeing this Hidalgo?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm kind of half and half." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm just not interested in seeing a movie about a guy dying in the desert for 2 hours." So
not what this movie was. Hidalgo,
not at all. Yeah, it was badly marketed. Yes.
So that was the thoughts that you had going into it. What were your thoughts coming out of it?
I was shocked that there was so much there. Yeah, and I was wondering, yeah, it kind of calls into question a lot of the old days, because it's like, this is not the first movie we've done on this show where we are like, it's really, really good, and then when we go and look at the reviews of the day, they've got really, really shit reviews. And so it's
Double Take is still the biggest rob.
Yeah, no, that's wild. Yeah. And so it kind of like, it does kind of like, it makes me think a lot about, back in the days before we had the mass internet, trending topic, what's everyone saying thing, when we literally had just you can count on your hands the number of professional reviewers there were, and you basically couldn't trust any of them. I remember
half of them are like the biggest haters on the planet, and they're just like, let me show you how much I can hate this beloved thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, I remember when Pulp Fiction came out, the reviewer, I remember the Oregonian, the local reviewer of our local paper, the Oregonian, he gave it a 2-star review, and then like in later editions, because they would have like what's opening would have the big full page reviews, but then if you were, flip through the pages, there would be like 2 or 3 paragraph summaries of their reviews of the movies that they reviewed before and are still playing. And they changed the Pulp Fiction review from 2 stars to 4 stars because the guy who reviewed it gave it 2 stars, said it sucked, and then everyone in the world loved it, and so he had to basically go back on what he said. uh, and that was when I was like,
Weak.
these guys don't even know what they're doing. Why? Like, I think that was the last time I ever actually read a review in the newspaper, when I realized that guy was so full of shit.
I mean,
His
all
name,
that
by the way,
is people's opinion.
yeah, his name, by the way, was Sean Levy, and I for the longest time was wondering, is this the same Sean Levy? No, it can't be the same Sean Levy.
Why can't it?
There's no way a reviewer for the Oregonian, a movie reviewer for the Oregonian, later became one of Hollywood's best directors. There's no goddamn way, especially not if he was someone who hated Pulp Fiction when he saw it. Come on.
Hey,
There has to be a different Sean Levy.
So here's the thing. Almost everybody that I know has a Tarantino flick that they cannot stand. They have like 4
Okay.
that they love, 1 they really love, a couple that are, and then 1 they just cannot stand.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I have one that I can't stand. I know I wasn't as into Foxy Brown the first time I saw it, but I didn't hate it. So
No,
I
I
keep
remember
meaning
you
to go
telling
back.
me you weren't into Foxy
Yeah,
Brown.
I keep meaning to go back and watch it again, wondering just like maybe I missed something or something like that, But yeah, no, but yeah, I don't think I have one that I hate. But that's to me is the weakest one.
No,
But
I
after
get that.
only seeing it one time.
No, I can see that. But I mean, how old were you when you watched that?
Ah, gosh, I must have been like 19 or 20, somewhere around there. I can't remember. I can't remember what year it came. I remember I saw it opening weekend in the theater. So
So
whatever that day
before,
was.
so that was before your white guilt kicked in.
Probably. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that
No,
makes me,
I would. That
yeah,
no.
that makes me wonder, because I can understand if white guilt was getting at you on that one, but I don't really. Yeah, well, I'm definitely curious about that. Maybe we'll give that one a revisit.
I'd be
Uh,
down for that. Sure. Yeah.
no, Hidalgo kicks open where we get some pretty horrific stuff with right around Civil War times. Actually, pre-Civil War. This was 1850, and we see our main character, which oh wow, what's wrong with me? I'm having trouble. Frank Hopkins. Yeah, that's what it was. Frank Hopkins. So Frank Hopkins, a Civil War era message runner. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, basically witnesses the death of his tribe. Was that ever? That was kind of unclear because it was a
It
tribe
was
or
kind of
his tribe.
right. I mean, it's a question. I don't think it was his tribe, but it was definitely like the same like
Because
race.
there were a few people that like knew him and were talking to him with like extreme familiarity, so that
right. Yeah.
threw a little bit up in there. By the way, on this one, it was marketed as a true story, but there is nothing. I mean, look, I've been to the Middle East, I've been to the desert. There are historical records going back like thousands of years. Okay,
Right.
if there was an epic horse race like this, there would be record of it. This was
Right.
nothing but this dude putting so much BS out there and like
No.
heading to the bar and looking at the ladies going, there's a book about me.
Which makes sense because we do have a section of the movie where you see he's a part of the Wild Bill Wild West show, which
Yep.
of course, sure, that their whole thing was the pageantry of the Wild West legend and all this. So yeah, of course he'd play that up. Um, and it reminded me of another movie, The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. Have you heard
Oh
about that one?
yeah.
Yeah. The story of a guy who was just like known for being an epic liar. Just everywhere he went, he would just tell insane stories, swear that they were true, that they happened to him. And Terry Gilliam made a movie under the pretense of what if what he said was true, and it is a completely insane, beautiful movie.
I have not seen it, but I have heard many good things about it, and it's one of those that it's like, again, classic syndrome.
Right. Yeah.
But
Man, I haven't seen it in
I need
years.
this.
Maybe I'll sign it to you on the show.
Hey man, why don't we do Foxy Brown and the Adventures of Baron Munchausen? That sounds like a crazy episode.
That sounds like a crazy pairing. Yeah. All right. I'm down for that.
we'll
100%.
we'll stack that. We'll stack that onto the list. So speaking of Wild Bill, that was paid by I almost said J.K. Rowling, played by J.K. Simmons.
Great job too. Yeah. I
Can
mean,
you
I
name a role that J.K. has not absolutely crushed?
oh well, there's crushed and then there's just great casting. Like he's crushed it, but there is like I think I remember saying this when we were watching this too. I thought that casting him as J. Jonah Jameson was the most
Yep.
perfect, inspired bit of casting ever. This is a close second now that I've seen it. Like not just a
Ooh.
great performance, but matching someone's whole like aura and like when you before you even meet the guy, never met the guy, when you think to yourself, if I had met this person in history, what would they be like? And it turns out you're thinking of J.K. Simmons and someone else did the same thing. They're like, let's just get J.K. Simmons. And it turns out that we're all right.
I can see where you're coming from with that. However, yeah, when people put up the line like, "What's a better casting than Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man?" J. Jonah
J.K. Simmons.
Jameson.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons is J.
I'm so-
Jonah Jameson. So perfect that he was like he was carried over, from Sony, and yeah,
yeah,
probably the
no,
most
too
excited
good.
I was at Far From Home was when his face showed up. I was like, oh, now it's on. Like,
No, that made me so happy. Not
yeah,
only to see J. Jonah Jameson doing that, but to see the extreme Alex Jones parody that they were pulling on that. I was like, oh, layers on layers on this. I am so
oh
in
yeah,
love. This is amazing.
this is
Uh,
perfect. Yep.
but in Hidalgo, we have our character Frank Hopkins is called over to the I think Saudi Arabian desert. He has to go through Iraq, maybe Kuwait.
Oh, well, it's interesting too how they introduce how he's been invited to this race, and it's
Kind of as a
because
mockery, yeah.
right, yeah, because Wild Bill is promoting this show, and they're promoting Frank and his horse Hidalgo, and they're basically for the show they're promoting him as the fastest horse in all the world, and so there's apparently some sheik in Saudi Arabia who's like, no, I have the fastest horse in the world, and I'm offended that you would suggest otherwise, so I challenge you to a race. And I'm like, I think I even said when we were watching, like, that is some small D energy right there to like send a guy.
Oh, very much so. But when it's Omar Sharif, I don't care. Be as little as you want, big guy. That is too good. Too good.
Yeah.
Every moment that Omar Sharif is on screen, whether it be in a movie or a television show, I love it. He is
Yes.
absolutely delightful.
For sure.
No, I mean this movie. It's very straightforward. Guy goes to the desert. Four different outcasts. There's Frank Hopkins, his painted horse, the assistant that gets assigned to him, which is low key the greatest character in the whole
love
movie.
that guy so much. Yeah. When the race was starting and he was saying goodbye, white man, and walks away, I was like, I'm gonna miss this guy. So I'm so mad he's not gonna be more in the movie. And then they get to the Oasis and he's there waiting for him. I'm like, hey, there's my guy. This is great.
No, yeah. Oh my god. No, just that moment where the celebrations are going and you just get that one guy just. that was solid gold. That was
yeah.
that was comedy. That was emotion. That what
Yep.
up? Yeah. And the
No,
little boy, hilarious.
Yep. No, yeah. Our side characters were, they really brought the thunder on this movie for sure. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the good guy side characters, the bad guy side characters, everybody. Like we talk on the show, and we definitely agree with the fact that there are no small parts.
Right.
This
exactly.
lends and a tremendous amount of credence to that. Because
And I think
we're singing J.K. Simmons praises. How much is he in this movie? Like
He's in
two
the movie for
minutes.
like 2 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's nearly unforgettable. Yeah, well, and that's the and I think we've talked about how like that sometimes is the mark between a good movie and a great movie is the fact that a great movie does not treat its minor characters as unimportant. If you've got a minor character, you're gonna, if you go like this is a character, they are here for a reason because they move the story along. We need to treat them with the same respect and gravitas as our main characters. So let's get a good actor in there. Let's get a performance out of them. Let's make them just as unforgettable as the main characters. That is how
For
you get a
me,
great movie.
I think the best example that certainly the one that comes to my mind every time is that dude
Mhm.
from Stardust. Captain's busy, so should you be. He has one line in that movie, and I will never
Right.
forget him, his delivery, his voice, every
Oh,
nails it.
see, for me, it's in the paper, and the guy going, "Oh, hot news from the TV guys! Pinhead's brother cancels trip."
I know we were talking about that, like when it came to like what was going down in Minneapolis during the summer of protests.
Right. Yeah.
Like right, like and after that, the year after that, I had to go out there for photography to cover the NHL All Seasons game,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Are you crazy? It's insane over there." And I went to Minneapolis, and the only insanity that I got was how freaking cold it was because my North Dakota bred butt is not used to that anymore. Oh, oh, the shivers.
Mm.
Oh, my timber, it shivered, and it was bad. I literally went there, and I know that you didn't find that funny. I didn't even find that
Oh,
funny,
I'm
but I'm
sure there are people
proud of
there. Yeah.
myself. I don't
No.
care. I'm proud of myself. That happened. I went there.
Yeah.
No,
No. I'm sure you have an
favorite.
audience for that joke. I'm sure. Yes.
No, so I'm curious, just flat out favorite moments of the film, because in a real quick breakdown of Hidalgo, guy and his horse get recruited to go over to Saudi Arabia and cross the desert in a 1,000-mile horse race. He shows
Mhm.
up, bets his guns on his horse, makes
Right.
kind of makes friends with the sheik. The princess is fascinated by the white man, and
Of
then,
course.
well, yeah, and then
But
there's
the
all the
cowboy. It's not
traditional.
just the white man. The
It's the
cowboy.
cowboy. Oh, come on.
Yes.
Come on. For a very long time, every American was a cowboy. It didn't matter if you crossed the pond and you had a business suit on and you were wearing like wingtips and
Right.
coming out of New York. You were an American cowboy.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I for reference, every movie from the 80s and 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
Just anyone where somebody travels or a European guy comes over to America and has attitude with an American.
Right. Yeah.
Every time that person is called a cowboy.
And well, and here's the crazy thing, and most Americans don't realize this, but when a non-American calls you a cowboy, it's not a compliment.
Watch me care.
I know. See,
Oh,
it took me too long to realize there's one there was a in Doctor Who, there was a few moments where the doctor, he would say when he sees like really messed up technology, he'd go like, "Oh, there are some cowboys in here." I thought that was just like a clever like like he was just referring to like, "Let's do this." Rah, rah. No, he was talking about idiots. Is what he was saying. Like it took me too
well,
long to realize.
see, I think that's going a little bit too harsh. And also, anybody who does, think that way, just, flat out. However, when it comes to cowboys, like in the reference to them, to us,
Mhm.
it is the ones shoot first, ask questions later, the don't think, they just go, everything like that.
Right. Yeah.
However, I know tons of actual cowboys, and I'm sorry, they're gonna be the funnest. They usually are the funnest bunch and everything like that. However, that is the group with like the biggest, most random set of know-how that I have ever come across.
Yeah.
Like you
Yep.
got a dude in a barn milking a cow, shoeing a horse,
Mhm.
wiring a subwoofer.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't got to tell me, man. I'm like the only city boy in my whole family. I get it. I really do. No, I
No,
remember I
like,
got this one. I
yeah.
got this one cousin. I was like totally shocked because like he used to
I should have
have
come
a
up with a
lot of
reference
this.
better than wiring a subwoofer because that's about the easiest thing to do. But whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I got a cousin who he used to have very similar mannerisms to me. He would talk and sound a lot like me. And then there was like maybe a 3-year span where I didn't see him much. And during that time, he got into rodeo. And when I saw him after 3 years of being in rodeo for like a year, now he talked like this. Whenever he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm breaking horses," and I'm like, "The fuck is this shit, man? Who do you think you are?" Like,
Did he have a dip in his mouth while he was doing that?
I think he did. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I think he
So
did.
okay,
Yeah.
you got to take it. You got to give some leeway. There is the dip dialect.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like Texas, North Dakota, California, New York. If you got inye, it's gonna be like it's gonna.
Yeah.
So I get that. However, it's the stance. It's the cowboy stance that really really gets me. It's like, okay, when did your lats get 4 feet wide?
Yeah.
And the problem is I'm guilty of it too. I remember like thinking back there at that and like because now I go to the gym and I'm like too stiff and I catch myself walking like that and I'm like, oh, and like I completely relax and I drop myself down and I'm like, not doing that anymore.
Right.
Like you were a dumb little tough guy. We're not that anymore.
Yeah. You were looking like you were looking for a fight, even though you weren't. Yeah.
Well,
Walk up to the bar. I would like a drink, please.
Oh my God. I had a memory come back to me just the other day. I was at the fair, like when I was like 22 years old or something like that. And I went up and it was like after doing karaoke. Now, if you can recall, I have a very particular karaoke song, When My Lungs Allow It. Do you remember what it is?
No, I do not.
It's Beelzebub, the final showdown song with Tenacious D and the Devil from Pick of Destiny.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I have done that.
And you do the devil voice when you sing that. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I do believe I've told you before was a bad idea.
But the only thing that happens after I get that like hard heavy metal and that grumble and I get that screaming is my voice really drops down for like the next 10 minutes.
You sound like you have the flu for a while afterwards. Yes.
Basically. So right after I did karaoke, I went over to the bar or the beer garden and I was like, yeah, can I get a beer? The lady behind there, she's like, I'm sorry, is that your voice? And I looked and I was like, and the thing was, it was so loud around me that I kind of forgot what happens after I do that song. So I was like, what? And then I grab my beer and I come back and I take a drink and I take a couple steps and I'm like, like, man, that took me a second. And then I realized, I'm like, oh no, that's not my real voice. So I was this little, okay, and at this point I was about 200 pounds. So I'm just this little, like, short, super buff guy walking around like, yeah, this is my voice. Can I give me a beer? I'm all that is man. Like, no, it was about as pathetic and sad. It had to look about as pathetic and sad as I imagine it. But at that point, it's like, you got to own it. You can't go back. You can't go back.
You were like little Wolverine from Deadpool 3.
Exactly. That. But see, if I had gone back, I would have had to gone back and do like a fluffy thing, like Gabriel Iglesias, where I go back and find the same person and make sure that they start back and come back like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about the way I came back before. Oh my God, can I get a beer? Like that's what I should have done.
That would be a story that she tells her friends forever.
What? It's that special from Gabriel where like he goes up and he orders at drive-thrus and he just comes up and he does that voice. He's like, oh my God, I just want some fries and some chicken and nuggets. And then when he comes up to the window, it's big, fluffy, and everything like that. But he just goes, And it's just like he gives the sternest, meanest look that he possibly can. And as soon as as soon as he drives away, he just goes, "Okay, thanks, bye." Voice actors, man, like if
Oh yeah.
if you can think to do them at the right time, because that was the thing, I didn't think to do that.
Hmm.
Had I actually done that, that would have been a truly hilarious thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was like 22. Like the performer in me was not there yet. Like I may have
Yeah.
had the talent for voices and for certain songs and things like that. Did not have the gumption.
See, and that's the thing is, I have never really, even as a performer, as someone who's been a performer for years, I never had that like do it spontaneously in public kind of feel. I always had to have someone like a director there to put the idea in my head. Like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna do that. Now, granted, I had friends that were made of pure evil, and so they often put ideas in my head. They're like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through the drive-through, and Doc, this is what we want you to do. And I'm like, okay, I got it. And then we'd make some poor minimum wage worker's life hell. I'm going to hell for sure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
see the fact that I needed attention when I was a kid,
Right.
everything like that. So if you dared me to do something, it was done.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I was the guy. Like you want to laugh? You want to see
Hmm.
something crazy? Dare
Yep.
Brad. Just dare him.
Oh,
Dare him to do anything.
yeah.
He's his ego huge. He's got to do it all. Yeah, no, I was such an idiot for so long that it's remember how I told you when I was writing my book, I did not live in the fantasy of when it was finished at all.
Oh, yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
zero. It like not at all. Now that I'm after and like the fantasy is kind of creeping up every once in a while, a second thing
Hmm.
is happening. Just like when I was starting to get some success as an actor,
Hmm.
all of my mistakes I've ever made in my life, all my embarrassing moments, all
Right.
of
Yeah.
them, they're all coming back.
No.
Because
Yeah.
it's not that the internet doesn't forget, it's that the internet is full of people, and people
Right.
don't let stuff go.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I think I mean, it's not like been like a crippling fear, but like, yeah, every once in a while, like, I remember when I was part of the cabaret show and we actually did a podcast interview. Like the height of our fame was when like a local podcaster was like, "We're gonna do an interview with you to promote the show," and we were like, "Great." And going into that interview, me and like 12 other people, all part of the show, there was a part of me that was genuinely worried, like, "Oh God, is this guy gonna ask about my ex-wife? Oh shit." Okay.
And that is why it's fantastic to be part of a team, to
Right.
disappear into the woodwork a little bit, just
Yeah.
enough. Because the stories that I have, see, I'm going to have those moments where there are going to be the people, like, okay, because everybody has this. There are the people that met you in your adult life, and then there are the
Hmm.
people who have known you like for forever. So there are people in my adult life that would hear stories of me from like 13 years old and 14 years old and go, him?
Right.
I was at a family reunion and I mentioned something and like one of the people were like, "I'm sorry, you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I used to be fun."
Right.
I know I didn't become a dad. I know I don't have any kids. Somehow though, I still tamed myself enough to stay out of jail.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the magic of
That's
growing
the
up. Yeah.
yeah, see, but that's the magic of turning 18 and having jail as a threat.
Right. Yes.
Okay, I want to be
Exactly.
clear. Like, yeah. Sometimes I was violent and stuff like that, but everybody that I got into a fight with definitely deserved it. Like, I was that guy,
Okay.
but I was also the guy that would be like, I want to hear some glass break, and would randomly throw a rock at like a window
Okay. Sure. Yep.
of a building that nobody would live in. But it
Oh yeah.
didn't change the fact that somebody owned the building and something would
Right.
need to be done about it.
Yes.
Like impulse control and stuff like that. Like, no, I was just a freaking jerk.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Me
But
too.
I was a little brother to, and everything like that. And like my sense of morality and all that stuff, it was like lockstep in a weird way from a very young age. So like treating people with disrespect was never, ever something that was like high on my list.
Oh, okay. See, that was
True.
that was where it really shined for me. Was like getting right in people's faces, and yeah, for me, it was very much the "oh, you think you're better than me" kind of approach to to people.
I don't.
Yeah,
I I think I may have given that vibe of whoa. I may
oh,
have given that vibe
much
a
better.
few. It's like I'm shiny. It's hot. All right,
Yeah.
just putting that out there. It's a little hot, and I have been contemplating hooking up my air conditioning. I
See,
think I
yeah, no,
decided.
it's hot here too. Like I don't
Oh,
like my noise cancellation is working double time right now because I got two fans going. So
oh, fantastic! No AC, no fans. I got a shut door. I got all like the sun blasting and beating on these curtains right now.
oh yeah, that's right. You've got a
Woo!
house that was actually built for your environment, as opposed to the cookie cutter box that I'm in right now. Yeah,
Correct. I have a
yeah.
house that is built for in the winter, the sun heats the house to where you during the day you do not need a heater. Like,
Mm.
however, summer.
Right.
Huh. No. All right. Doc, give me top 5 favorite moments of Hidalgo.
Top five favorite moments of Hidalgo. I would say, well, definitely. I don't know how to rate them. I'm gonna have to just group them all. These are all tied for first
Fair,
place.
fair.
Yeah.
Ahead of time, maybe rating. Out of the
Right.
blue,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. Definitely like near the end, just as he's about to give up, and then he starts praying to his ancestors and gets inspiration to keep going. That to me was a good moment. It's really, really, really rare to see that story where you see someone who has, for like usually we get, the oh, he's been living as a native the whole time and he reaches out to his ancestors and gets his whole belief reaffirmed. Or we get the white savior where he's like, I'm just gonna American this. Like someone who has been basically, he is half native. He's been kind of hiding from it this whole time because life for a native is rough in America. And so right, he gets when he actually does call to his ancestors and they come to him and inspire him to keep going. That's something we don't see a lot of in the movies, and so I kind of appreciated that.
I'm gonna
Um,
throw a little extra bonus on that
mhm,
because that thing, what I loved about that is that was the desert mirage that we could easily depict as him taking that mirage that we all see on the hot roads in the desert, everything,
right,
and him assigning to that placebo effect, if you will, and
right,
deciding to embrace his heritage in that moment. I
exactly.
thought like truly beautiful moment. I'm pretty sure this is on your list, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. When Hidalgo falls into the trap.
Oh no, it was okay. See, that was a great moment. It wasn't my favorite moment because I just like like it. I kind of hated it, but I guess production wise, yes, it does deserve to be in the top five moments as it having the effect that was meant to have, for sure. So, but yeah, I would say the rest of the moments would be the servant guy every time he spoke, every time he, every
Oh
time our
god.
servant friend was just like it was nice knowing you, white man. Like that whole his entire appearance in the movie was just it would be like it'd be those two moments and then like the 10 scenes that he's in are my top 12 moments of the movie.
Fair. I know J.K. Simmons, I'm guessing just that Wild Bill representation probably a
it was it was
top.
it was it's good. Yep.
I thought the cheetahs. Bringing the
Oh right.
cheetahs
Yeah.
in. I enjoyed that. I was like, "Ooh. Ooh,
Hmm.
dangerous, deadly." Because at that point, a cheetah in the desert, that's about as dangerous as a polar bear anywhere.
No. Yeah. No, that's true. That is a very good point. That's one of those like there's nowhere to run is what it comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no,
yeah.
that was like that was one of those moments that's like, oh, the more you know about the animal, the worse this is.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh shit, like how, like what, like yeah, like I don't even think he had six guns on him, but even then, you're just like, how you gonna hit him? They move so damn fast, like you're screwed.
I think the visual effects for when Hidalgo got injured, right?
Mm.
That the part that led into that prayer.
Oh yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes.
I
That
love
whole lead
that.
up of the yeah.
Um, those are also my favorite moments of the movie. I mean, they were just that good.
Yeah.
But the scene that I could have watched a straight up hour of was those horses being released.
Oh yeah, at the very end,
The
that's what he does with
very
his
end.
prize money. He buys up a bunch of land that some natives are about to be evicted from, so he pays their bill so that they get to keep the land and then buys up all their horses and sets them all free and then presumably sets Hidalgo free. We don't really get it if he's just going to run with him for a while or if he's literally being set back into the wild. But yeah, it was a
He
great
like
scene.
Frank Hopkins got back onto the wagon and he left with the others.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he had
yeah.
a saddle. He's like, hey, y'all mind if I get a ride? Type
Right.
thing.
he's
Yeah.
like, he's like, I didn't think this through. My ride just
Yeah, maybe I should have asked before I sent my horse away, but you know, no, but just
yeah.
like outstanding representation of the Mustang. Just another. And I'm sorry, the favorite part of this movie. I know we said it like it was the other guy. It
Mhm.
was the horse, man.
No, the horse really did steal the show. There's a
Like
reason why the
there
horse
was
is the title character of this movie. Yes, that's
so
true.
much personality in that horse. Like I was laughing so hard so many times when it came to that.
Right.
Uh,
And
well,
I was curious too because you said that they had like five different horses playing Hidalgo. Do
mhm.
they have any description as to how that was like divided out? Like, was there like I get we have like our stunt horse, and then there's probably the makeup horse, the horse that can sit still for when they had the spear makeup on it. Was there one specific horse that was just the good actor, like, or did they need three of
Probably
those?
the
Like, was
one
there,
Vigo bought.
probably yes, yeah,
If
okay, you're
if I
probably
had to
right.
put money on that, I that's the one I'd put money on. Uh, what do you say? Final thoughts on Hidalgo?
Final thoughts on Hidalgo. It got screwed. Like this movie
Oh
was
yeah.
not nearly as bad as people made it out to be back in the day. Its marketing was completely wrong. I thought it was a movie about a guy who's lost in the desert forever, and it's really, really not. He's lost in the
No.
desert for like 5 minutes most of this movie, and yeah, it's yeah, I'm surprised that it's not one that has held the repetitive value. Like that's kind of what we do in this show is the movies that don't get shown on cable or a lot or aren't on streaming a lot, and so we kind of revive them. This one I'm surprised is on the list because it is up there as a solid good movie that should be appreciated over time.
I don't fully understand how it got slammed so hard, but it is one of those that's like, oh, Vigo Mortensen, he's in this. Let's
Right,
check it out. And then it's like, oh my god, my mind was just blown. Like
right, yeah.
it's one of those sneaky ones. I'm not putting it on the must see list, but I
I'm not
definitely
either.
throw
Yeah,
it really high on the recommendation list.
for sure. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree.
All right, what do you say? 510, and then we'll jump in on the commitments.
Okay, cool.
All right, be right back.
I don't even know if I've got audio. Did Brad mute when we went to break? Can you hear me out there, folks? Or am I just looking like an idiot talking to myself? I don't know. I'll have to ask him when he gets back. If he was smart, he muted us. Because the last thing we need is for me to have full control over this show. Things can get weird.
Well,
Well,
well, yes. Wow. So,
wow.
yeah, the
Did something happen while we were on break?
yeah, the boy.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if I can do the second half because of the boy. But let's try.
what's happened? Is anybody bleeding? That's the first question.
No.
Okay,
Nobody's
then you're
bleeding.
fine. You're fine. Yeah.
No, he climbed out the window and went outside, and he's barefoot and with all the cactus, throwing a fit, breaking sticks, being a kid.
Yep.
Very, very understandable, everything like that. But it was also explained. This is the end. Like, the rest of his time here is just gonna be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that because I don't want to do nothing.
Right. Yeah. No. That's that. Yeah. That
No,
always sucks when it's like punishing the kid involves also punishing yourself. That's like when you're sitting there going like, man.
No, like when he was behaving, we went out and checked out a waterfall. We went out and checked out a gorge. He stood in between a canyon, did some rock climbing. He was living his frickin' dream come true, man.
Yeah.
And then he stopped behaving.
That's a pisser.
It really sucks to be that guy. It really
Yeah.
sucks to be that guy. It sucks to be responsible. I hate it. I hate being responsible. I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, same. Yeah.
That's the job.
Yep.
All right. Part 2 of the show. Mustang Sally. Oh. Yes.
Oh man, I don't think I have I don't think I have seen you crush that hard before. Like we've sat here and we've I'm trying to remember who was it. Oh, when we were doing the rundown and we both just couldn't stop talking about how hot what's her name was.
Oh, Rosario
Dawson.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just
let's be clear. One of us was absolutely fawning. Yes. It was not this side of the show. I was in agreement. Okay. Let's be clear. I was not arguing
fair.
one bit.
fair. But yeah, no, the way you were thirsting after our guy in the commitments was a new experience.
Oh yeah, no, that yeah, God, what was his name? What was the character's name?
Oh, the character's name was
Deco.
It was Deco. Yes, he was going by Deco. Yeah.
Andrew Strong. Let's see what other credits he has, because good God, the man stole. Nope, just the commitments.
Yeah.
A lot of this cast, it is just the commitments. Some of this cast is not. Like the mom from Orphan Black, she's in this, and I want to say she did a good job. However, the thing is, most of these characters were just there.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's the ensemble that really crushed it, and Jimmy Rabbit.
Yes. Yep.
No. Oh my God.
Oh,
O'Brien.
are you talking about Joe? Daddy Rabbit, Papa Rabbit. Yes.
Yeah. Papa Rabbit. He killed every single line that he had. Every single line.
You two must be pissing themselves.
Oh God. No, but like when he starts like singing Elvis and getting like real into it, I'm like, oh my God, O'Brien, what's up, man? Yeah. But no, that lead singer, I'm sitting there like every time, I'm sitting there, I'm hating this guy. I was a groupie, is what was happening.
Yeah. No, because he is one of the more antagonistic characters. He is an absolute a-hole. But every time they take the stage and he takes the mic, his singing is so damn good that even we as the audience forgive everything in the moment. We're like, oh yeah, no, this band cannot go on without him, obviously. Yeah.
No, yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, oh God, this guy sucks. They're
Yeah.
stuck.
You're right.
Like, without this guy, there's not a band.
Right, exactly.
No, but every single time, except what was it when he was singing "Hard to Handle" and he changed the melody? I think it was to
right.
"Hard to Handle." Oh,
Right, yeah.
no, I was singing along with the other songs. I was in it. I'm straight bopping, man. Like the little white boy in me was coming out, and no, and then all of a sudden it gets to that song, and I'm jamming it. All of a sudden, just everything completely deflated me.
Right.
I was just like, that's not cool.
That's not how you
man.
sing that song. Yeah, I know.
No,
Nah, so
like, have you
the
ever?
commitments.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna go ahead and start in the rundown of the movie. You got one more thing to throw in.
The feeling I had from that moment is like when you're really jamming on a song and you love the song, but you don't quite know all the words, and then your a-hole buddy in the car turns the radio off to catch you, like just blah 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 blah, like, and then just like all the gusto getting taken out of you in that moment. That is the exact feeling that I had. I feel like everybody knows that feeling. I feel like that is one of those universal ones.
No, yeah, we definitely all been there for that one, for sure. Yep. All right, so yeah, the commitments. A dinky little film, a cheap little film, Irish made, came out of Ireland, was such a big hit that they threw it across the pond in America, and it was almost as big of a hit here. Even if the movie wasn't, its soundtrack definitely was a hit. This is a movie about a guy who basically he's just a working class Dubliner. He's got friends who have a wedding band and they want to get more gigs. They want to do better. And so he says, okay, and they ask him to be their manager. It's not really clear why they ask him, other than maybe he's just the most sly guy they know. And they figure if we're going to get a manager, it might as well be him.
There is that, but he also seems to know a lot about music.
That's the thing, and they do say that you know more about music than any of us, because you had this album before any of us and all that sort of stuff. So he does know music, and to his credit, he does seem to know the music industry. He doesn't make a lot of wrong choices in this movie. That's kind of part of what is interesting about it, is that he kind of is the instigator of the story of the rest of the band for the most part. But so he basically he agrees to manage them on the condition that they completely change their sound into a soul band. And so they become a band that does covers of American soul music. And they audition new singers and more musicians. They get dancers, and he sets them up as a full ensemble soul band. And they are they are hugely successful as local cover bands go. And the instant they get even just a little teeny tiny bit of respect from their community, they all turn into a bunch of divas and the whole thing implodes. And we see the entire life cycle of this band all take place in the span of 2 hours in this movie.
Yes. And our characters, the way that we go through, like we have Imelda Quirk, the one that everybody thinks is there just for the TNA. And then we have,
which they're kind of right. That is kind of why
but she can sing.
But she can sing, yes. She does prove in the course of the thing that she does have other value, but that is why she was brought in the band in the first place. But she does prove herself, but even after she proves herself, even though when she sings and proves to be a good singer, they still treat her like she's just TNA, and that's part of the problem.
Well, it's the same thing with Maria Doyle Kennedy, who played Natalie Murphy, and Brona Gallagher, who played Bernie McLaughlin.
Right.
Like, all of the female singers that they had those are the backup singers that
backup singers, but they also have
sometimes main.
Right, yeah, they're mainly backup singers, but they do have like 2 numbers where they are the main singers, and our boy Deco, the main lead singer, isn't having it. Like, for some weird reason, he doesn't even want to take a break. Anytime the spotlight's not on him, he has an absolute fit.
Oh yeah, no, he got his 15 minutes and he never wanted it to end. Like, he wanted every single second of that 15 minutes just all on him. the absolute nightmare kind of character that you're almost guaranteed to have in a show about the music industry, the entertainment
Yeah.
industry in any
Right.
facet.
Right. Yeah.
Realistically, because we've all worked with that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. No, if you're in the arts
I
at all, everybody in this movie is familiar, even if you're not a musician. If you're an actor, a dancer, a sculptor, you've met every single one of these people.
Here's what kind of caught me at one point. I was afraid that I was being that guy on one set.
Mm,
Because of how much I loved being on set. I was just, hey, what are you doing? What does
right.
that mean? What? Yeah, do you want some help? Like I was talking to literally everybody all the time, and there was a moment that I was like, oh God, does everybody think that I'm trying to make everything about me? And I'm sitting here like, has my love betrayed me?
Yeah.
And,
And that, you know
and
what? Here's the thing. That all depends on the set because I remember the first
I
time you
was
and I worked
just
together.
about to
Yeah.
say, because
Yeah.
on that set, as I found out after I left, everybody was like, this guy, he's awesome. He's fun to have on
Yeah.
set. He'll learn everybody's name. He's interested in
Yeah.
everything, like what everybody has to say. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so seen.
No, yeah. Well, and it does depend on the set. But part of it has to do, I think, because it was because you, like you said, you were running around going like, "How you doing? What are you doing? Can I help?" I don't know who it was on set that went like, "Hey, yeah, hold the boom mic." Like if he'll do it, we'll let him do it. What the fuck, you know? And I'm sitting there doing the director thing, and I turn and I look, and there's my lead actor holding the boom mic. I'm going to cast this guy in everything. He's not a bitch. Oh my God. I'm never letting him go.
Oh no, that was the thing. And
Yeah.
the things that led to, something like Summer, the stunt coordinator was stuck. He was running late on Grimm. So he called me and he's like, hey man, we've talked enough about this stuff. I know that you kind of know enough. Can you take charge and be the stunt coordinator for this movie until I get there? And I was like, of course, in my car on the phone, I'm like, yeah, man, I got this, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nail this. I get off the phone, I'm like, oh crap. But I get out there and I'm just like, okay, don't let them see any fear, don't let them see any hesitation, go right into it. And I went into it, and then he showed up later and didn't change a single thing I did. And on the outside, I was sitting there like, all right, cool. On the inside, I'm like, yeah. I was like, this is awesome. So much fun. But
yeah,
that was the thing. I found out some of like the prissier models that I'd worked with, and some of the people who are like that, they're the ones who kind of painted me in that light. Because I'd heard that I was like that, and I sat back and I remember sitting there just going like, when was I like this? When was I the diva? I'm like, because I'm the guy who was doing the stunts that was leaving pieces of his skin on the road while I was going across. Like, what's
so diva about that? Yeah,
I'm sitting there wondering and all this stuff. And then, I mean, you can't say this about everything. You just can't. Sometimes it literally is jealousy.
Right. Yeah, it is, and it's difficult to tell the difference in the moment for sure. But yeah, it is strange how many folks will, if you are accidentally the center of attention, they will accuse you of deliberately stealing attention away from others or whatever. And it is weird. And yeah, there's nothing you can do about it in the moment. All you can do is just later on go like, oh, okay, move on. Yeah.
What's kind of funny about that set is that was a TV show that I did stunts. I was only supposed to be there for an extra and just, kind of a little bit of stunts, a little bit of background stunts, World War II TV show. But because I committed so hard to it, I wound up being in all 8 episodes of the limited series.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, 100% commit to the bit every single time.
It's the Nicolas Cage rule. Doesn't matter how shitty the movie is, you give 100%.
There is that vampire Nicolas Cage, the old one, like from like the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember which one what it's called, but he has a crying scene in that movie where I am not kidding. He literally goes, boo! He actually says boo!
not seen that movie? Wow. A Nicolas Cage vampire movie from the 80s. I must have seen that. There's no way I haven't. I just can't remember for some reason.
You have to, but like, I swear to God, like, that's a moment hearing an A-list actor commit so hard. They're like, because I guarantee, like, see, I can put myself in those shoes and go, what would I have to have done to actually say the word boo-hoo in that scene? And for me, I guarantee you, it would have been, you're not crying hard enough, and the director like chopping me down or something like that. It's like, I need all the boo-hoo you got. I get if I had that argument, I would have gone in there and just cried and actually gone boo-hoo. I can literally want that to be the story.
In my head, I can absolutely see some like low budget film school first time director literally like holding a script in front of an actor's face going, the script says boo-hoo, so say boo-hoo. Like,
I could see that too, yeah. No, I could see that. Oh, I can see that all the way.
Yeah.
No, oh my God, I gotta figure out which, maybe I can find that out really, really quick. Let's see if I can find that out real quick. Jump back into the rundown.
Okay, all right. So, well, I think I finished it. Like I said, it's the life cycle. We see them rise, we see them turn as divas, we see them fall. It is a very, there's not a lot of like really key moments in this, except one. That's when we find out that the trumpet player is sleeping with every girl in the band.
Oh yeah, no,
that's the one like
Jimmy
key moment.
Two Lips, Joey
the Lips, Falcone.
Fagin.
No,
Fagin.
Joey the Lips, Fagin.
Yep, yes. And that's the character that, as the movie ended, and see, this is why I need a few days to think about this after the case. I cannot tell if that is the purest character in the movie or another one of the antagonists. Because the more I think about it, the more he is the purest character in the movie.
Right. Yes. But also we don't know. That's the thing, is like we spend the whole movie asking the question, is Joey completely...
No, we spend the whole movie knowing that he's full of it. Like, we know, and then the end comes around and like all of a sudden Pickett's there?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We know. Yeah. And we're like, wait a second, what? And now we have to question, wait, okay. So he didn't lie that one time, but
yeah, no, it's like, okay, was this the one, or was it all true? Was Elvis really not on drugs? Like, no, all these things, all these lines, but I want to say, like, this movie, okay, what was this, 91? Is that when this movie
sounds about right.
Came out?
Yeah,
maybe. Okay, yeah, this is 1991, and currently on Spotify, this album from the movie still has 500,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the album, the soundtrack, it's absolutely spectacular.
It really is. Yep.
So
I've owned it since it came out on CD. You know,
I immediately put Mustang Sally on my Spotify playlist, and I have been cruising around my neighborhood blasting Mustang Sally. And I swear to God, some of these old people are looking at me going,
yeah.
What?
Did I not tell you before we came into this movie? I told you their version of Mustang Sally is my favorite, and you were like, "Whoa!"
No! I get it, and I understand. That's the thing. I understand. Here's the thing: I have heard this cover many times in my life, and I have loved this cover many times in my life. That's
you just didn't know it. You didn't know it was from this.
The more I thought about it, the more I caught it, the more I think about it. Yes. Also, the movie is the Nick Cage movie is Vampire's Kiss, 1988.
Right. Yes.
You have seen this.
I have seen this. I don't remember anything about it.
Okay, good. Because just to get a good little laugh, pull up the movie and look at the image. Look at the cover, because that tells you every single thing you need to know about this movie. Vampire's Kiss, 1988. I'll wait. Correct. Absolutely correct.
Oh my God. The Nick Cage meme is from this movie.
Yes, it is. That is the source. And you know what? Because of the meme, I think we need to cover it.
I think you're right.
I
Yeah.
think we need. I
Oh
think we need to.
God.
I think we need to
It's
roast this
gonna
one.
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I know. But
We're gonna
yeah,
have
I
to
think
go
you're right.
into
We
it
have
as a
to.
roast.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
Vampire's
All right.
Kiss.
Vampire's Kiss is on the list.
Oh, that is not the kiss I wanted on my list.
Uh,
Oh, Hollow Notes. Oh, the throw. So, what do you think? Top 5 favorite parts of the Commitments.
oh wow,
I'm gonna
that is a
throw
tough call
automatically Mustang Sally. Just its existence is the top 5.
for sure. Yeah. Gosh, that is a tough call because this was a movie that had it was basically like a series of bits. Like we see the life cycle of this band told in just a bunch of tiny chunks. There
Can I
wasn't a lot
give
of
some of mine to
yeah. Go
maybe
for it.
lead you in?
Yeah. Okay.
The recurring horse jokes. The horse waiting for an elevator.
Oh right. Yes. Yeah. And we kept going. Like, is this a Dublin thing or what's going on?
Yep.
Yes.
The speech from Rabbit about we're the blacks of Europe.
Right. Like that's the hat they hang on it because like even in the 90s when racial sensitivity was not as popular, they have a moment where the band is saying, aren't we a little white to be doing this music? And Jimmy tells them, no, because we are the blacks of Europe. Like
And like the Dublin Irish are the blacks of Ireland. Like
right, yes.
no,
Yep.
like that oh my god, I don't know if that didn't age well or if it aged perfectly.
And
I
it
can't
caps off
tell.
perfectly. It caps off perfectly later on when we see their rehearsal montage going on as they're starting to get better with their routine. The end of the montage, we see our saxophone player sitting there in the street practicing with a bunch of kids watching him, and then he stops halfway through his practice session, look at the kids, and goes,
I'm
"I'm
black and
black
I'm
and I'm
proud.
proud." Right? Yeah, and then starts playing again. Like that's our capper to that. Yes, that
Yeah,
was
so that made it to the top 5 favorite moments for sure. Like those themes
with an Irish. You got to say it with an Irish accent now. For
I don't even think I'm capable of doing that. I can do an Irish accent, but like to say, "Oh yeah, I'm black and I'm proud." Like
you got it. You nailed it right there.
I
That was
feel
good.
like I went into Scottish. I feel like I had too much Craig Ferguson on that. Like, wow. Okay. Two more top contender moments for the movie.
Mhm. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It was just a wild ride the whole way through. You know what? Wilson Pickens showing up at the end.
That was a real curveball moment. Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all.
No, I didn't
Yep.
see that coming. And the entirety of the Jimmy Rabbit character, like,
Yeah.
his integrity as a character was lockstep the entire movie, never broke, made sense the entire way through.
Mhm.
I completely supported him all the way through, and I
Yep.
was on his side every step of the way through. There was one time he was a little bit of an asshole. A couple times he was a little bit of an asshole.
He lost his temper at one point,
Right.
but
I
it's
said this
understandable.
during the show.
Right.
You need that guy.
Yeah.
You need the guy who's
And
willing to go there for the benefit of the group.
right, yes. And it was at a moment that it was needed because everyone in the band was bickering. And so he snaps and is like, will you all act like damn professionals? Like that's basically what happened. It was totally called for, and it was the closest he was to being a dick in the entire movie. Was
Okay,
at the one moment he needed to be.
yeah. I think I have my final one.
Okay.
When the band is falling apart, but when it comes time and they're backstage and they're all tearing each other apart to shreds and all this stuff, and then it's time for an encore and they all come out like best friends again. I will never find stuff like that not funny.
No, for sure. Yes. Yep. And because we've all been there too. We've all been in that show.
Every performer, everybody, if you've done more than one show, and sometimes even if you've only done one show, that might be the reason.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
I
would cap
where
that
would you
off.
put this? Oh, go ahead.
I would cap. The only one I would add to that would be because we get this scene where Joey the Lips, we see him flirting with one of the dancers, and everyone's kind of commenting on it, like, can you, can you please be professional? This is not a dating service. That,
I forgot about
and then,
Joey's mom.
oh, right.
She's up there. She's up there.
She was a great character. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, and then we have the reveal like a little later on. We see him kind of doing the whole like he's in his boxers. He's put some music on and he's walking towards it. We know he's there to seduce somebody, and we figure it's the dancer that we saw him with earlier. But then she sits up in bed and it's one of the other dancers. And that reveal of like, oh no, he really is. He's really working his way through. Like this guy, he's got the whole like, oh, I'm a man of soul and a man of God. He's like, I've joined your band because God told me that. Yeah, God told me that to bring soul to Dublin. Like, but yeah, no,
he was
is
musical Jesus or musical Moses.
Right, musical Moses. But then yeah, no, he like that's where we get the added like, oh, he must be full of shit because he's literally using this to get in the pants of every girl there. But then Wilson Pickett shows up.
Oh no! Which makes him possibly the purest character of the whole movie.
Yeah,
everybody else
weird,
like everybody knew. All the women knew that they were sleeping with the same guy and all stuff. They were flipping out on each other, but he's all just like, "Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey."
Right.
Like that's didn't even like barely had stuff to say on it. Just like, nah, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the love, brother.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry you doubting me, brother Rabbit.
It's the
like
music.
I was waiting for Rabbit to wake up in bed with him. I was waiting for that scene to come.
Yeah. Oh, and he was so smooth about everything too. I told you, like, I had forgotten until I saw this again. For years after seeing this movie, I would randomly call people Brother Rabbit. I'd be like, let's do this, Brother Rabbit. Because he's just so he talks so smoothly in every way. It's just, and you just kind of sit there and he's like, we'll do this together, Brother Rabbit. And
he
Brother
ropes
Rabbit.
you in. He ropes you right in.
And so so if you're years afterwards, I'm like, we're gonna make it work, Brother Rabbit. And I forgot that was where I got that from.
I might toss this on the must-see list because I don't really have a reason not to.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if
it's just so good.
Yeah.
And it was a cultural phenomenon coming out of Ireland in the 90s, coming to America. So, you know, for that music, I think there is something to say about drawing back to the source or 100%. The secondhand source.
The sort of, a sort of reverse cultural appropriation almost.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a great example of how cultural appropriation can work, actually, because in that they're not appropriating the culture. They are deliberately bringing the culture to their people because there's no one else doing it. They're not taking it away from the local jazz bands. There are no local jazz bands. They are taking what they know to be the good stuff from America and introducing it to Dublin so that Dublin can appreciate it on the same level that they do.
See,
that is the right way to do
argument. This is funny because it actually brings up the argument of cultural appropriation versus cultural sharing. So the thing is, like, the argument is cultures are meant to be shared. That is how we combat racism. That is how we teach people. This is how we do this. Right. It's that's not my culture. I can't know anything about it. I can't learn about it. I can't be a part of it. That's where bad things start happening.
Right.
This is how you share culture. Now, the funny part is, they literally said I'm black and I'm proud.
It's not a perfect representation for sure.
No, it really is.
But
here's the thing. It's like nobody's wearing dreadlocks. Nobody's got like Kango hats or anything. Like nobody's doing the things that people call out for cultural appropriation. Yet they literally say the words. So I can't tell, man.
And maybe that's really what it comes down to is why this is a must see.
I think they told the line so well.
It raises all of the questions. It is a discussion. This is a movie that raises all the questions, offers zero answers, and is 100% entertaining every minute through. That makes it a must see.
I agree. That is, you know what? You justified what I was thinking. So the commitments makes it to the must see.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Any final thoughts? Any final bits of love you want to show the movies?
No, I think I sung the praises as best I could, so I'm good.
And we're talking potentially next week about doing. Okay, so here's the thing. Next week, I'm going to have to be driving to North Dakota to take my nephew home. So I don't know 100% how that's going to interfere with the show.
Okay,
So got to be a little bit ready for that.
gotcha. When you say a little bit ready, do you mean as in like we could be doing Tuesday, could be doing Wednesday? You don't know which yet, or what? What do you mean by you got to be ready?
Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, okay. Well, Fridays I'm not available, so it's Mondays
Well,
or
no,
Wednesdays.
remember,
Yeah.
no, remember we're talking about Monday doing an earlier show, Wednesday doing this time show, Friday doing a late
Right.
night show.
Right.
So
yes.
we can,
okay.
so we can watch the movies,
Now I remember.
and we can do the show and keep the show consistent.
Yes, I remember now. Yes, and I
Which
remember
the thing
liking
that
that
we
idea.
were,
Yes.
the thing that we were kind of like struggling on, all our same viewers that are regular commenters all came tonight too.
Oh, that's. Thank you. That's beautiful. I'm
Very
so
much thank
happy.
you.
Yeah. I'm that makes me happy. Even though I don't know any of you or any of your names and I never have anything good to say about you, I still appreciate that.
No, you drink the haterade real hard. Again, we are writers who have a show. Neither of us are podcasters or streamers. We're just doing this.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I am the one monitoring all of it.
And I'm so glad too that it's not me.
Oh, screw you. All right. Yeah, final thoughts, commitments, Hidalgo. What do you got?
Nope. Hidalgo, good. Got robbed. If you got time, check it out. But it's not a must see. Commitments, absolute must see. Show it to your friends and discuss.
And enjoy the soundtrack.
Enjoy that soundtrack. Yes.
You wanted to do the Pride Month movies next week, right?
That's right. Yes, I am throwing one bone to all of our viewers who asked us to bring the movie fight back, and because you have not seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and I have not seen Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and so I remember I told you when we were talking about this, the reason why I did not see Tu Wong Fu was because when the trailer came out, my first thought is, well, this is clearly just a cheap American ripoff of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I'm not going to bother. And so this is going to be an actual genuine movie fight. We're going to watch Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and we're going to argue over which one is the better one.
I feel
one
like
of these was nominated for an Oscar.
I feel like I have a leg up.
Okay.
For the let's see. 4 words. Wesley Snipes in drag.
Okay.
That is a powerhouse of because what most people may forget, because he is so famous for Blade, Wesley Snipes was a prime comedy actor.
No, that's true. That is true. He has always been funny. That is very true. I will see your Wesley Snipes in drag, and I will raise you General Zod in drag.
Oh, oh, that's gonna be
oh, and I'll give you even more. Agent Smith in drag.
No way, he's in it.
Yes.
Oh my god, I almost called him Elron.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name too, but yes, Elron / Agent Smith from the Matrix.
This Red Skull, every freaking villain.
We all
this
know
is
this
not
guy.
okay.
Yeah,
this is not okay. Oh my god. Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. Thank you. Yes, V for Vendetta. Hugo Weaving. Yes. Yes. Hugo, we are three drag queens on a road trip. That's the movie. That's what both of these movies are. And in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, our 3 drag queens are Hugo Weaving, Terrence Stamp, and Guy Pearce.
Oh, Guy Pearce. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. It's on. It's on.
Again, we got Swayze, we got Snipes, and we got a very confusing Leguizamo.
Oh, I know. Yes, Leguizamo. Leguizamo has always had that though. That was like he's a weird chameleon of a man. He's always had that. I'm pretty sure that he may actually be one of the fairy folk. I'm like 90% sure.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I look at John Leguizamo as like a Mexican leprechaun.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He can do or be anything he wants to be, and I'm here for it.
Right.
All right, guys.
100%.
That is our show. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll be back next week. From now until then, stay safe and stay sane.
Good night, everybody.